On West Georgia, welcome back to the 16th Annual Fall on Main Street, broadcasting live on Dr. Don's Weather. We will be here throughout the remainder of today until about 2 o'clock this afternoon. We've got all the vendors are all set up and ready to go. We've got a great crowd out here this morning, but don't forget about all the food vendors. So you can come out and have breakfast, you can come out and have lunch, you can come out and have a good time, because that's what this is all about. We've got a special guest in here with us today, Ken Bearden. Ken is a West Georgian. He's from LaGrange, so he's right in the bullseye of the area that we cover here on Dr. Don's Weather. And Ken is with the Veterans Fishing Organization, which is a 501c organization that takes veterans out there and lets them enjoy fishing on the water. And we've talked about that
to a lot of people here, and if I mention his name, they're like, "Oh yeah."
Everybody lights up. They know Joe.
Yeah, Joe was a great guy.
Great guy.
But he was also a Vietnam veteran, and we was friends for about 13, 14 years, and probably the first 5, I had no idea he was a veteran. He never even talked about it, But eventually he started talking about it, and what he was going through and stuff, and eventually he passed away from the Agent Orange. The lung cancer from the Agent Orange got in his lungs, and he passed away, and he knew he was going. We had time to prepare for everything, and so when he was going through the treatments, he would get extremely sick, and then when he gets feeling a lot better, I would get him out and take him out on lake fishing, and we was out, and he just really worried about his wife, and because they didn't have any children together. And I made a promise to him that I would see after her once he was gone. And so I would go by there and check on her, and she would start crying and thanking me for getting him out on the water, that during that hard period of his life. And finally I was like, one day I was like, "Miss Gill, I didn't do it. He would have done the same thing for me. I didn't do anything special." And she said, "Well, you didn't see what I saw, She said he just got so down and depressed, and then he would get sick from the treatments and stuff. She said he wouldn't go anywhere, he wouldn't talk to anybody. She said you're the only phone call he would take. And she said when y'all had a day set up to go fishing, she said next thing I know he's out in the garage getting his fishing stuff ready to go fishing, tying on lures and getting everything sitting there. She said you don't know how good it made me feel to look out the window and seeing him getting ready to go do something that he loved to do, and I didn't see it from that perspective, and during that same day she made the comment, I'm sure there's thousands of other veterans that need to get out and want to get out, but they're not physically able like Joe, or some not mentally able, and that's where the whole idea came from. And so we researched it for a year or so, and then by 2016, we had it rolling. We had the website and the Facebook page and everything. And by 17, there was just so many veterans signed up. It was just a full-time thing, And so I have guys that's been shot, it's been blown up, it's been thrown out of Humvees, been burned, and we do guys in wheelchairs, whatever the issues are. We do one-on-one trips with a lot of guys with PTSD or in the wheelchairs and stuff, and they don't really feel comfortable around crowds, and that's fine. And so we do one-on-one trips, and you got guys that's kind of gotten over some of their issues and are doing pretty good. So we put together events. So like Lake Wedowee, September the 14th, we had 30 veterans come, and we had 30 volunteers come, and we paired them up, sent them out, and while they were out, we had food catered in, we had trophies, we had draw prizes, we had just everything. When they came back in and weighed in their big largemouth spot or crappie, they just went right on in to eat and everything. It was just a really great time. You hear a lot of laughter, a lot of stories being told, a lot of guys swapping phone numbers. It's good, great camaraderie for these guys, So I try to cater to both sides. And actually at that event, we had a veteran that won the trophy, and he came up, and I always interview and talk with him a little bit, And I told him, I said, there's about 80 people there. I said, tell them what this organization means to you to be able to just call me up and say, hey, Ken, I'm having a hard time. Can we get out and go fishing?
Yeah.
And this guy took the microphone, and for about 10 to 15 seconds, he choked up and could not speak.
Wow.
And those 80 people were just dead silent. It was just dead silent. And then he started talking. He said, well, about 2 months ago, I tried to commit suicide. And he said, I had to commit myself into a mental hospital. And he said, when I came out of the doors of those hospitals, he said, I knew exactly what I needed to do. I needed to call Ken, and I needed to go fishing.
Wow.
And so he did, and I took him fishing, and he told me all that. And so I invited him to come to this event. And so I told him, I said, if you'll come the night before and stay in the motel, we'll all go out to eat together. And then you'll get up the next morning, you won't have to drive in the dark, Mm-hmm. And so he did. We went out to eat Boondocks, and then they catered our food to our event. And so we went out to eat, and then, next morning we had the event, and then he won 2 trophies, actually.
Wow.
It was just a blessing day for him. I mean, so a lot of fun, a lot of smiles, a lot of therapy. This is physical and mental therapy. We do not allow any alcohol at all at any of our stuff. No foul language, nothing like that. If you're not there for the enjoyment of being outdoors and the renewing of your mind and the spirit, you're in the wrong place if you're going with the Veterans Fishing Organization, because we're there to help our veterans.
So if there's somebody watching us this morning across Georgia or Alabama, West Georgia, East Alabama, that would like to take you up on this and is a veteran and would like to go fishing, how's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
They can go on vfohome.org and sign up there, and when they hit send, that sends that information to me in an email.
We'll get that information up. I've got it, and I'll get it up on the screen. We'll get that out there to everybody. And of course, like I said, we've promoted some of your stuff before. We'll continue to do that. We will certainly be a friend of yours here on Dr. Don's Weather, and anything we can do to help get the word out there for what you guys do. I know where you're at, brother, because when somebody tells me that my information, maybe help them during severe weather, or maybe, I've had people tell me that what we do actually saves lives, and I think what you're doing is saving lives too, because you're giving the veterans an outlet, a place to go and have a good time and enjoy, and the things, the way I often wonder, in life, you look at what your purpose is. And I think I know I've found mine, and it sounds like you have found yours too.
I hope so. I pray that, well, I'll tell you, back in March, raising money to keep the organization going is always the hardest part. There's veterans signing up all the time, but the bills keep coming too, and I got down on my knees at the altar back in March, and I said, God, this is all yours. If you want this to work, you're going to have to open doors and send me down the right path. And there has really been a big difference since I've done that.
Wow.
Since I've just gave it all to Him. And we're not at our full budget yet. We've never met our full budget since 2016, but we're a little more ahead this year than we have been in the past.
Yeah, I can relate to that too, because all this, you hit the nail on the head when you said the bills don't stop. they keep coming. But our support, we've been doing this now for about 6 years, going into our 7th year of live broadcasting, and our support has grown recently. It has grown significantly, and we greatly appreciate it and appreciate what you guys do. That's just good stuff. And so it's Lake Wedowee, West Point, any of the other lakes around?
This coming year, we've also partnered, that's something that came back in April. Dovetail Landing is in Lincoln, Alabama, and they're set up to help veterans transition from military life to civilian life. And they're giving these guys skills such as backhoe, skid steer, and bulldozer certification. they came to my event in September and told what they did. So I had some of my veterans sign up. And one thing they done was learning how to do surveying. And so one of my veterans from the event went up there and he got certified to be a helper in surveying. So you have to do that before you can be a completely. So he's headed in the right direction. I've got another one that signed up for fiber optic cable, running fiber optic cable. They have some great skills. Look up Dovetail Landing in Lincoln, Alabama. So we've partnered with them, and that's going to be a great partnership, I believe.
Ken, thank you so much for coming by and talking to us today. I really enjoyed having this conversation with you. And again, I pledge to you our support. Just send me an email. Message me on Messenger is the best way to get in touch with me and let me know about your events as they're coming up, and we'll cover that for you. And who knows, we may come set up at one of your events in the future and do some live stuff as well. I'd love to do that.
Yeah. So with Dovetail, we're looking at adding Lake Martin and Logan Martin, and possibly Lake Gunnersville, because there's just so many veterans out there, we want to try to reach as many as we can.
Well, you're doing a great thing, son.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Ken Bearden, again, with Veterans Fishing Organization. You can find him online on Facebook at Veterans Fishing Organization Incorporated. Probably one of the best ways to get in touch with them. And again, we'll have more information for you here on Dr. Don's Weather. Beautiful day in Roanoke, Alabama, as we continue with the 16th Annual Fall on Main Street. You can see there's no precipitation out there on radar. We are severe clear across the region today, and we hope that you will come out and hang out with us and enjoy the 16th Annual Fall on Main Street, which is underway here in downtown Roanoke, Alabama. We'll be here till about 2 o'clock this afternoon. We have got all kinds of food vendors here for you, so come have lunch with us today and then walk around and take a look at all the different offerings here with all the different arts and crafts booths, the children's petting zoo, and don't forget, we're giving away 2 NOAA weather radios. All you got to do is stop by and register, and we'll be giving those away a little later on today here in Roanoke, Alabama. 16th Annual Fall on Main Street from Dr. Don's Weather.